Let's hit the court. The Sweet 16 starts tonight, but college basketball ain't so sweet in the triangle right now, is it? Hubert Davis fired from UNC. Will Wade bailing on NC State. We got to talk about this because it is the first time since the 40s that both of these programs have needed a head coach, a new head coach at the same time. And I want to hear from you about all of this. I know you State fans are out there, Tar Heel fans too, even some of you Duke fans. Go ahead and weigh in. I know you have something to say about this. Here's our email, 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. Send us your questions and feedback. We're going to try and get to a few of them at the end of the newscast. Meantime, let's jump right in, shall we? We got our coverage of Will Wade leaving the NC State basketball program. Our team is out covering there the ins and outs of the whole thing. Brian Murphy live in Washington, D.C. Willie Danley for us in Raleigh. We're going to get started there in Raleigh with WRL's Willie Danley. So you are live on NC State campus tonight, Willie. Athletic Director Boo Corrigan holding a news conference a little earlier today. Walk us through what he said and how he learned about Will Wade's departure.
Yes, Dan, we are going to find a coach who agrees and understands who we are and what we are. Those were the words that came out of Athletic Director Boo Corrigan's mouth today after that shocking announcement from head coach Will Wade. Corrigan walked through the timeline today at that news conference. He says he spoke to Wade before the ACC tournament, and Wade said he was staying. Corrigan said he spoke to Wade after the loss to Virginia, and Wade said he was staying. When the season ended after the loss to Texas, the two spoke again, and Wade said he was staying. This Tuesday night, Corrigan heard from Wade again, and he said he had no indication that Wade was leaving the program. It was the very next morning that Corrigan learned that Wade was leaving the program for LSU, a move that Wade calls deeply personal. Corrigan said today that he's disappointed for the athletic department, the Wolfpack fans, and the university as a whole. WRAL was at that news conference today and asked Corrigan if he regretted hiring Wade in the first place.
Do you regret hiring him in the first place?
No. No, I think going back to this past year, a lot of people are excited about NC State basketball, right, and excited about what happened this past year. I'm disappointed that it ended the way that it did, more than I am wishing it never happened.
I've been out here speaking to Wolfpack fans all afternoon, and to put it kindly, they are very upset about this news from Will Wade, but they are hoping that they find a coach that's going to align with the program's values. That's what they're telling us out here. Willie Danley, WRL News, live at NC State.
That is the hope. All right, Willie, thank you. As we now turn to Murph's Turf. Murph, you were taking the turf on the road tonight. You're in D.C. for Duke's game against St. John's. They're in the Sweet 16. But the story here is here tonight in Raleigh, as you know. We know Will Wade coached at LSU before. He says that this decision has a lot to do with personal feelings, with family, with things like that. But something tells me there's some other elements. What else plays into this decision?
Well, Dan, obviously money, right? We're talking about college athletics. Of course, we're talking about money. You know, LSU, I don't know where they're getting all this money, but they fired Brian Kelly, paid his large buyout, brought in Lane Kiffin, and now they're promising, you know, maybe over $15 million for a basketball roster at LSU. I also think, you know, less about home and less about family and more about feeling comfortable with certain people. LSU has got the band back together from McNeese State. McNeese State was the one who took a chance on Will Wade after he was in purgatory, coaching purgatory after the FBI investigation, the NCAA investigation, and now they've gotten all those people back together in Louisiana, and now they have Will Wade joining them. And you know, it's a tough blow for NC State, but I think Will Wade, motivated by some of that money, some of that familiarity, and a sense that maybe LSU will have more resources to do what he wants to do.
You know, Wade's proven himself to be a good coach, and he did make some progress with this NC State team this season. Is there anything that he will leave behind, a silver lining here, something that they can build on, or is it truly back to square one for NC State?
Yeah, I mean, if you just heard Boo Corrigan say he doesn't regret hiring Will Wade, and I think the one reason you wouldn't regret hiring Will Wade is because the excitement that got generated at the Lenovo Center. There were some sellouts. The crowd was back into it. They sold more season tickets, and so I think, you know, NC State fans were awakened in a certain way. But look, we're talking about back back to, scratch here, because Will Wade brought an entirely new roster to NC State, and the next coach, whoever he is going to bring an entirely new roster in too. I mean, you're looking at guys like Matt Abel or Paul McNeil as the only really people that you would keep on this roster. And who knows, they're going to get offers all over the country. Maybe they'll get offers to go to LSU. And so the new coach at NC State is going to have to start from scratch and rebuild a roster, and may bring in a bunch of players from wherever it is that he comes from.
So look, we have NC State and UNC both looking for a new head coach at the same time. Trigger warning here for what was said by St. John's coach Rick Pitino today, saying that in his opinion, there's not much difference between these programs, these two programs nowadays. We're not talking about legacy. We're talking about right now. Is he right? What does the competition look like between these two triangle teams, both searching for somebody for that head job?
Well, let me just add a little context to what Pitino was saying. He's saying that in the NIL era, there is no difference between a tradition-rich team, in this case, North Carolina, and one that hasn't had a lot of success recently, in this case, NC State. It's all about your coach and your NIL budget right now. But I think that takes it too far, because look at the coaches that North Carolina is going after. Tommy Lloyd, Dusty May, TJ Otzelberger, maybe Billy Donovan. These are coaches that have got #1 seeds in this year's NCAA tournament, are favorites to win the national title. Then look at the list that NC State is likely to chase after. Justin Gainey, a former NC State player who is now an associate head coach at Tennessee. Maybe Josh Schertz, who's at St. Louis. We've heard Archie Miller's name. He's at Rhode Island. They clearly, when it comes to hiring a coach, they are in some different categories right now. North Carolina is aiming for the very top of college basketball. NC State is looking at a different list right now. So I get Pitino's point, right? Tradition, history, the jersey, what you did for me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago doesn't matter as much. But to say there's no difference between NC State and North Carolina right now, I think all you got to do is look at the tier of coaches they're going after for this opening.
You bet. And we could see some decisions here pretty soon. Murph on the road for us tonight in D.C. Thanks, Murph. Now, as you can imagine, as Willie was saying earlier, fans at NC State are not happy, and we heard from a few of them today on campus.
It's out of the blue, that's for sure. I guess a lot of people are throwing, accusations out there like he's a snake and whatnot. I don't want to be a little too harsh, so I would just say, it's unfortunate. Thought we had something going.
He had all these promises that he was going to come, fix our program, get us back into the Final Four, and even maybe get us a championship. And now he's leaving us after we paid a bunch of money to get him over here. So I kind of feel like my tuition was wasted. I feel like my time was wasted, and I'm not very happy with him as a guy in general.
I love that soundbite. The question, though, that I still have, though, is why are they this upset? Wade got people excited. He showed promise, but it's not like he had some spectacular, amazing season. His team finished 20-13, 7th in the ACC. They lost in the first 4. They lost 6 of their last 8 games, got blown out by Duke and Virginia. So again, why are fans this hurt? Well, for the answer, I think we should go to couples therapy. You see, Will Wade did what the young people are calling love bombing. This is a newer term in the dating world, but it's a tactic as old as Othello. Someone enters your life, says all the right things, makes big promises, gets you excited about the future together. Then, once you're invested, they ghost you. They leave. And with Will Wade, it was bombs away. He even went as far as imitating an iconic photo of NC State's most iconic coach, Jimmy V. For State fans, this is not just a photo. That is legacy, identity, emotion. So let's take a minute and listen to some of Will Wade's love letters to State fans early in the relationship.
I want to be very clear. This is not a rebuild. We're going to be in the top part of the ACC next year, and we're going to the NCAA tournament. This is not something that's going to take a whole lot of time. This is the first time in a while, I think, the fans, the administration, and the program, we're all on one accord. And everybody's on the same accord. Everybody's singing from the same sheet of music. And when that happens at NC State, it's going to be a reckoning for the ACC, and it's going to be a reckoning for college basketball. And it's coming soon.
I think we have one of the best fan base in college basketball. We just haven't always been aligned and on the same tune. We're aligned now. And when we're aligned, there's nothing we can't do.
And in true playa fashion, he kept that act right up to the bitter end. Here's Wade at the end of the season when asked if he plans to leave.
I'm excited at NC State. I was hired at NC State to do a job. This wasn't going to take 1 year. I've already met with our administration about next year and some of the changes that we need to make and some of the things that we need to do to put this program where it deserves long term. We're going to win, and we're going to win big at NC State.
You see, the foundation of any relationship is built on trust, and it is getting harder and harder to trust anything in college sports. Great players transfer every year to schools that can pay them more money. Darian Mensah left Duke for Miami. Elliot Cadeau left UNC for Michigan. Sometimes they enter that transfer portal before the season is even over, and then they sit out bowl games, the biggest games of the year. Hollywood Smothers sat out of NC State's bowl game, then transferred to Texas, and coaches do it too. They get poached by other programs with huge multi-million-dollar contracts. Lane Kiffin had a shot at a national title with Ole Miss, but he still bailed early for LSU. Loyalty is no longer tied to Carolina Blue or Wolfpack Red. It's all about green, and it's out in the open and more influential than ever. That said, in a relationship, loyalty goes both ways, and no one has been more loyal than Hubert Davis. He played at UNC in the 90s under Dean Smith. He left ESPN to coach under Roy Williams. He stayed loyal for 9 years as an assistant, then got the head coaching job where he took them to the national championship in his first season. He beat Duke in the Final Four, ending Coach K's career, one of the biggest wins in Tar Heel history. An ACC championship, 3 tournament appearances, and that was not good enough. Fans wanted more. Here's how they weighed his loyalty after UNC's round 1 loss this year.
And just not going to cut it at a top 5, top 4 program in the country. With the amount of money, with the amount of fandom, with the amount of energy that the campus puts into the basketball team, it's absolutely unacceptable to lose in the first round.
He has a history of choking, 19-point lead to an inferior team. Hubert Davis, you got to go, man.
So, here we are. For the first time in about 80 years, both UNC and NC State are looking for a new head coach at the same time, and they're both looking for long-term successful relationships. But as your team hits the dating apps, keep this in mind. If one side is only in it for themselves and the other side is only looking for perfection, well, good luck with a happy marriage. Oh boy, stirring the pot tonight, a little bit on this Thursday. Give me your feedback on all this college basketball coaching drama. Email 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. This is your newscast, and we want to hear from you, so please tell us what is on your mind, and we will talk about it here at 7 o'clock.